Hey everybody, this is Tony, and I'm here today with a special guest, Mr. Dave Amerman, better known as 12 Pack. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Now, of course, 12 Pack, everybody kind of pretty much got to know you from being on the show I Love New York. Of course, Flavor of Love was very big. New York wanted to so-called find her love. And so her show became pretty, big with VH1's ratings, and you were one of the contestants. So, what led you to be on this show in the first place? When you heard about it, what made you say, "I want to go on
Well, it wasn't quite like that.
there"?
I'm from North Jersey, so I was into filmmaking in college, and I met some casting directors from WB out of Warner Brothers Paramount Studios down in Manhattan, and they had
Okay.
my information, so they just contacted me. I did like an episode of Eliminate prior and some little things. They just called me. They didn't tell me about the show. They didn't tell me what it was. They just said, "You're going after a diva. We're looking for single male contestants." So I was like, okay, I can handle this one. Went to the audition and, honestly, I took the shirt off in the audition, had some fun with it. And 2 weeks later, they called me and they told me, I got on, but I still didn't know what I was getting into until it was too late.
Oh yeah. So, did you watch Flavor of Love prior to you being on I Love New York?
Not at all. I couldn't identify a single person from Flavor of Love prior to being on the shows. I watched Strange Love because I
Okay,
watched Real Life because Real Life was cool and I get like
of course.
Daco and some of the girls, and that was pretty cool. So I thought Bridget Nielsen and Flavor Flav was interesting. So when they did Surreal Live, I thought that was interesting. I caught a few episodes, and I'm trying to think if this is for real.
Right, right.
Stand of it. I heard of Flavor of Love, and I heard it was like crazy. I heard people were taking craps on the rug, like all sorts of weird stuff. So not for me. Next thing you know, like they're like, "Hey, it's a spinoff of that show." So I was like, "Okay." I didn't know how big it was until
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize it was like the number one shows in the history of the network up to this point. Worldwide. I met people at airports that from Germany, from this country, that had free food when I went to Mexico from people that recognized me. So good run for a while.
Yeah, yeah. And it's crazy how it blew up so much. I don't even think VH1 was expecting those kind of numbers out of those kind of shows. And then it was just like, okay, well, now we got to give her own show because we got to keep the ball rolling with this. But then you got on the show. I mean, they kind of put you with some of the most craziest people out of the world, probably, because you were in there with Pootie, who was almost or seemed like he wanted to be suicidal or something. Maybe you had Chance in there, who was like firecracker. I mean, you had some of the most unique group of people. Let me put it like that.
Yeah,
So how
incredible
did you
cast.
adjust?
Yeah, incredible. I mean, the cool thing is, and I never really actually even shared this, when you get on the show, you go to the hotel, they kind of keep you separated, different floors. Like you're not supposed to be walking around trying to see who's on the show. You're
Right, right.
about to get into something. You don't know what it is, but so you almost, it's like a fighter, about to go in. You don't look at the opponent, and then like you just go in and like you're in the match. Um,
Right.
so we go down for breakfast the morning of going to the actual house. So we got to see
Okay.
each other. So the producers come in, they talk to everybody in like a picture like the hotel has a conference room and they reserve it like the breakfast foods and stuff like that. And we're
Right, right.
just eyeing everyone up. And I mean, what a crew of people from Van Dan and the do-rag and Romance was just all sunglasses. I mean, the jumpsuit, like flight suit, like whatever it was. I was like, guys are all, everybody's got their own thing going, so it's going to be, and even I think his name, I don't even remember his name at the time. He got kicked off the first day. Romance, no, not Romance, but like Mr. Romance, the big guy. His name was Wood.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That guy was hilarious. He was 6'2", like 250 pounds, bigger than me, and luckily he didn't stay. So I kind of took over the bigger guy in the house role because I mean there was
Exactly.
eliminated early that were not to be messed around with you.
Yeah, yeah. But once you got in the house with them and you started, being in there day in, day out, and you started actually going through the competition, what was really going through your mind going through that whole thing?
There was a few times like it kind of got real for me, right? So you go in
Right.
there first, you're drinking, you're just having some fun. Then like episode 2, like I was up on the block for elimination because supposedly I guess the night before me and Romance were being cool. He seemed like a normal guy, and maybe I
Right.
much, and we were talking about having girls back home a little bit, like just innocently and like, hey, we're having fun. But he went and told New York like day 2, and here I am like, whoa, this is my chance to be on something big, and I'm about to go home right away. So me and him almost got into it a little, and I don't get into fights a lot at all at home, really never.
Right, right.
So yeah, so that was when it first started getting a little bit real, and then right after that was when Pootie throws himself down the stairs. Um,
Yeah.
and in that same episode, Pootie actually stole my sign on episode 3 that I originally made. Like it was like a forecast on how we're going to get New York. And I
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember.
30 minutes drawing this thing up. It's my project. And literally the guy just grabs it. And I'm thinking, hey, I could squash you if we really were doing this, but obviously we can't fight. And I didn't want to fight with anyone, but I'm like, wow, like this is for real. Like this guy's stealing my,
Right.
it's just, you're in this, you're not at home anymore. You ain't in Kansas.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, as far as like Pootie though, were you ever like, not scared, but were you ever in your mind like maybe this guy is not all the way there?
Honestly, I thought he was going to do really well on the show. He's a slick talking guy, not a bad looking guy. He could crack a joke. There were some funny guys on the show. There was all sorts of different styles. So, you're sizing everyone up thinking like, man, I could be top 10 here and still, have 10 great guys ahead of me, or I could try to get down, as far as I can. And luckily I was able to get even past that, but there was just a lot of good guys. I mean, I think if I went in there thinking I'm going to date New York and her and I are going to go out, I probably maybe would have made it down to the end if like I really thought like I was into New York and I could have done that. Like I think I could have certainly competed with Chance and real for the affection of her if that's what the goal was.
Right, right. I think it would have been even more crazier to see you guys interact there because you already know that Chance was just like, he had his own style. He was pretty much the New Yorker of this show. So, and then you had Sister Patterson who kind of like gave you guys hell and in everything almost looks like.
Me specifically. I mean,
oh yeah.
out for me. She had it out for me.
And then I mean it didn't make it any better on the episode where she brought in the exes and your ex pretty much basically told him that you used to work at a gay club and now they help fuel Sister Patterson's doubts or thoughts or whatever the case you want to put it. Because she already was saying, you offered to give Chamo a lap dance, and so it kind of just went in from there.
Yeah, I mean, again, you don't realize how certain stories are breaking out. Like in my day,
Right.
I got 2 brothers, I'm a wrestler. Like I'm always hanging with the boys and we're always joking around and it's like that all the time. So you don't realize until you're at a place, in the house where there's all sorts of different types of walks of life. And,
Right.
And me and Sister Patterson probably come from totally different walks of life. So,
Of course.
she's immediately sizing me up and in the way where she's trying to, hey, do you do your own eyebrows? Like, and I wasn't even thinking about it because the whole like, oh, he's definitely gay, like quotes and things that she's saying, she's not saying them to me. She's saying them in the interview room. So me and her are having it. She's asking me just normal upkeep questions like I'm just going to answer. Right. And then she's doing the interviews and making it even worse. So I didn't even know they were building that up. Now me and Heat, like Heat seemed like a dude. We had some drinks. Like he was just, little Tom Cruise, you know what I mean? So I was like, this dude's a cool dude, and he's, him and I'll get along great. So, and he was drinking with me and he was very complimentary of myself. Hey, why not roll around with that? Plus, I'm standing next to him and I look like I'm 6'8" on the show because, he's a little height difference than me. But, yeah, I mean, next thing you know, the exes come on and I wasn't even there when they had those combos. So here I am about to come out and say, I kind of have like a girlfriend I was dating back home. And next thing you know, I'm so going, wait, what this has nothing to do with the girlfriend back home. That was what I'm worried about the whole time. They're trying to make me out to be like this exotic dancer of the year, like I'm a stallion dancer,
Yeah. It completely turned and I, like I said, I think Sister Patterson was a big part of that whole thing because she was already saying it and then the ex said it and then it was like, oh, okay, this is it right here.
And for me, I had plenty of opportunities. I was offered a lot of money to do things and dance like that at those clubs. And I did not do that. I literally worked as a promotional model for one day. I was down the road from it. So, but I got offered while I was there, hey, come work with us, blah, blah, blah. We'll make you all this money. And I was like, I don't want to be known for that stuff. But instead now you go to famousbirthdays.com or something. And in my profile, it says ex-exotic dancer, whatever. So now like a photo for somebody I'll literally write like 5-time dancer of the year, like just stupid stuff to have fun with it. Because at this point, it ain't going away, so might as well have fun with it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, because they pretty much threw that narrative out, and now you don't really have a chance to defend it or even say, okay, this is what was really going on because you watch it later. Like you can say what you say in the moment, but pretty much they built this up at this point.
You say too much
So
and they have more stuff to go with. We could be talking about how we aren't something for 30 minutes, but we have plenty of conversation about what we're trying not to talk about. So the idea is not even to talk.
yeah,
But let's be realistic, right? They're trying to villainize somebody for being homosexual on these dating shows when, hey, I'm not, I'm married, I have 3 kids, but they're villainizing. And I think back in 06, 07, that was like more okay to make that guy out be, you know, like where they were looking for someone to point that out. Whereas 2020, come on, man, it's all about that now. Like, you know, like
exactly. Yeah,
one of the most popular Instagram followers and everything, you know, are these type of people, and you know they're loved on by both sides. So you know,
yeah,
I embrace that character role, and my fans are too, and I'm cool with that. You know, so might as well embrace what you have and appreciate all those people that appreciate.
exactly, exactly. So of course you got eliminated at some point off of the show.
That right after
But
that, man, that was it.
but you did come back though on I Love Money. So how did those situations work though? When you guys are on a show already and you come back on a show like that, do they just call you up and say, "Hey, come on, we got this show," or do you have to audition again, or what?
No, I mean you don't have to audition again because they got plenty of real footage for hours and days nonstop. So they know
Okay.
what they're getting into. This isn't a rehearsed like I'm gonna play the German wrestler. Like it's like you or you're not. So with I
Yeah.
Love Money, they strategically said, okay, first of all, I knew they were like you said, hey, when they filmed Flavor Flav and they were like, we gotta give this girl New York her own show. Hey,
Mhm.
Mark Rowan and Chris Abrego for a second, Surreal Life, big
Yeah.
hit, some money, started doing something. So let's make another one. Let's keep this going. So then Surreal Life to the Strange Love. So they were
Right.
then to Flavor of Love. Now to I Love New York. So they're looking while we're on there. Okay, one of you guys is going to be the next Bachelor. We knew it, and I knew Chance was it. We knew it already. I mean, you knew it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's fine. Hey, I'll be somebody else, in some other setting, or maybe
Yeah.
we'll just keep going. So then what they did was, okay, we've done the Of Loves. We've even done Rock of Love at this point. Let's do a competition show like Survivor. Let's pick the best of the best people. And so for me, it's a nice honor to remember, I auditioned for a show that thousands of people auditioned for. 30 made it down to LA, 20 made it on the show, 5 went home the first night. I'm
Right.
I'm one of 4 or 5 guys that got selected for the first season of I Love Money. So that's a pretty good honor to be like, hey, this was one of the fan favorites from the show, top 5, top 4, and maybe someone who has a chance to get their own show, or at least, hey, let's see them in some physical activity on a challenge show. So that's an honor, and they just called me. I was working in finance. I had a job in finance where every day I'm in there studying, and they called me up. I'm not kidding. The next day I was like, all right, I'm putting in my 2 weeks. Like it was done. Back. I mean, let's get back to the gym, because they call me in like December and they're like, we're going to film mid-January. And when you're from New
Mm.
York, when May, June hits, you're in great shape. The pool season, when it's December, you're like, hey, I'm packing it on a little. So I have to just do nothing but work out because I was going to get paid for the show. So I knew like, hey, I didn't have to work these next couple weeks. I'm going to get back up
Right. Right.
a paycheck while I'm out there. They're going to feed me. I don't even need to bring $1 with me. Although in Mexico that would have come in handy because there was left me to like wander the streets, not even speaking the language. Hence the free meal I was talking about earlier.
Right.
Yeah, it was something else. But let's get into I Love Money.
Yeah. I'm telling you, no lie. I have to give you props and everybody who ever went on that show because they basically turned that into like a miniature Fear Factor, and I don't think I could have made it ever.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there was the eating challenge that they made.
Yeah.
I would have crushed the eating challenge. Are you kidding me? I want to be a competitive eater. Like that was my thing. And of course, they did it on like a Monday and Sunday. We were off, so I sat there
Right.
and ate everything on the menu I could eat. I remember coming to the house Monday and feeling like, wow, I got to work this off. I'm bloated. I'm full. And then 2 hours later, we're outside in 105-degree humidity and we're eating sushi rolls, all you can eat until we're puking in the street. That's
Yeah.
the
It
life of
was
the reality
crazy.
TV.
It was crazy. So now you like I said, you've been on a couple of shows.
Plenty of this in Mexico, though, my man.
Oh, that's their favorite over there. But you've been on a couple of shows, so now you when you look at reality TV that they have on now, what do you think about that kind of stuff?
Well, I think it goes a little beyond just being on a few of the shows, right?
Yeah.
I studied filmmaking in college, so I'd already had an interest in making films. And believe it or not, I got onto a Eliminate episode, so I got to see the behind the scenes. I got to see, I was the host
Mm,
episode. I got to pick the girls, so I got to be with the production side more than the contestant side. So I
right.
got to, I got to watch the cuts, watch the angles, watch the close-ups, kind of take it all in. So then I'm in filmmaking class. So my senior year in college, I actually made a 22-minute reality show for my senior project, filmmaking for in college. So I had already been on both sides, that side of the camera twice now. See, this is the thing with a lot of the people on the shows. Some of these guys are music producers. They've all been there trying to do a little something. So we're not a bunch
Right.
of totally novices walking in. A lot of us are, but there are guys that have been on tour with their bands. Like there are actual people who are MySpace, Instagram famous type, so you're ready. Everyone's got their own little thing. So I'd already done
Yeah.
shows of the producing side. Now I go into I Love New York and get hit totally blindsided because I was a true contestant in this big scenario, but I did kind of know what was going on. So right now you go on I Love Money. I figured out the contest for I Love Money. It was really okay, I need alliances. I need, and I remember
Mhm.
you like third episode in, second episode in, I remember Lisa Lopez, Mark Cronin's wife. She actually, not at the time, and she goes, "Hey," she's like, "You figured it out." She's like, "You're like the first guy to figure it out here," And I was like, "I know, I gotta, I gotta pushing." It was really easy, I was like, "I need to be a paymaster. I need to pick who's gonna go home. I need to."
Right.
And then, if you remember, I was throwing some of the early challenges. I was like, "You guys
Right.
pick. I won't eliminate you. It's gonna be all about friends. Who cares about that stuff? We're gonna get this guy out and that girl out." And so immediately, like, they were like, "Damn, like he's got it." And I did the biggest mistake I could have. I put myself up for elimination. And
Uh-huh.
I've said this in a few interviews since then, like, it's the one thing you're not supposed to do. Actually, I did the two things you're not supposed to do. The two things: don't get into like a relationship on the show with someone because then you're like hooked to that person, and
Of
don't
course.
go up for elimination. Did both, and I still made it down like episode. So that was my worst show by far, which says something at least to be on 8 to 10 episodes, and that's my worst because I
Yeah.
after that with Daisy Love, which was actually my favorite show, and that's the show that like the dating show that I should have been on from the start. To have to get on that, after everything was cool.
Right, right. So
Yeah.
did you know Daisy already, or did you happen to just meet her once you got on the show?
Um, yeah. All right. So just for the record, I don't go and try to, oh, this girl's cute from this show or that show. Like, I'm not into that. I never did that.
Right, right.
I remember watching Daisy on the show and being like, wow, this girl's like super cute and fully tatted. I loved everything about the look, everything. So much so that I actually on MySpace hit her up. And not only that, I was building a website. I was into actually metal rock and roll, and I was actually building a website.
Okay.
Meltdown. It was going to be like a top 10, and I wanted her to co-host it with me. So and nobody knows that either. And I hit her up. We had a nice convo, 20-minute phone call, like out of nowhere. And I'm like, this is so cool. Like I'm watching this girl on TV. I just done like I Love New York, and I just hit her up. I created this thing, and here we are talking for 30 minutes on the phone. Like I was like, this is pretty cool to have access. Like I got
Right, right.
on those shows to any of those contestants by just reaching out. And after that, she came to New York one time, not to come see me, just because a friend was hosting, throwing her at a party. And he
Okay.
called me and said, "Hey, Daisy's going to be in town." I was like, "I'm there." And we actually hung out. I spent the evening with her and took her to the airport. The next day. Like, I mean, we had a cool night. It was good times. She got a little tipsy. So the last like hour or two was just like her like out of it. But she hit me up afterwards, like I wasn't feeling well, and it was so she didn't know I was coming on the show. So I was a little worried, like, oh man, like here I am. I'm the guy who was on a reality show. But luckily we had some chemistry, and she
Right, right.
wanted to see what more was there with me. So I made it past the first night, and the rest, rest played itself out. Once I made it past the first night, I was like, all right, she was going to punk me. She's going to do it on the first day. If VH1's,
Exactly.
she could have been like, I don't want this guy on my show. He's already got followers. This is my show. You know what I mean? Like, and just be like,
Yeah.
he's here for TV, get rid of him. But it didn't happen. So.
Yeah. I mean, you made it pretty far further than some of those other people. So I mean, you had to do something right at that point.
Top 3. That's not too shabby. There was thousands that applied, so that's an honor as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of, I was kind of baffled that VH1 didn't, give you your own show at some point because, Frank the Entertainer had his own thing in the basement and Real and Chance, Daisy, and other people. So I was kind of shocked that they didn't give you something though.
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea was I was going to get it, but I think with um, Frank's when I was on I Love Money with Frank, that's when he got his show.
Right, right.
That's when I handed over to the reins to Frank because I'm very like sane and level-headed. I mean, yeah, I have some drinks in the show so I can be less of that. And be
Right, right.
Frank is the opposite of me. We'll just say that. And
Okay.
yeah, so when we are, no matter where we are, I mean, he's talented too. Like honestly, and I'm saying this, he was, and he's secretly like a decent looking guy, but like guy or that, I mean, he didn't care.
Okay, there you go.
I'm back.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, I lost connection there. So anyway, yeah, Frank wouldn't care. He'd speak his mind, do whatever, where I'm not. But I just remember when we first got to I Love Money, I actually invited him out with Heat. Heat was with me in New Jersey. Me and Heat booked the flight together. So when we went to I Love Money, him and I were on the same flight. We
Okay.
invited Tanner. We threw a going away party. See, we were always going out in towns and stuff. We could throw parties and people would, hey, give us a couple bucks and we'd throw ourselves a party at a club. Like, what better than that? Hey, we're going to come to throw us a party and give us free alcohol. Like, I'll try that now. And they'll be like, I'm sorry, who? So we did that. We threw a going away party and I invited an entertainer and he didn't come. So the next morning we get to the airport in LaGuardia, New York. And while we're pulling curbside up, who's there? Frank, the entertainer, getting out of his car. And we messed with him. We went up to him and said, let me take your bags. Like we were like going to like valet him. And he had no idea it was us. So immediately it was like super cool. We kicked it right off, me, him, and Heat. And became immediate, like super close buddies. Me and him became even closer to the Heat on that show. But I remember we're in the hotel in Mexico, and I hear like Neo or some like real high pitched like rap singing, but like real, I mean, how Neo's on point, And I get in the room, and I'm like, Frank, like I did not expect to hear you, like see you. I was thinking like Neo or someone from the show, like some big out there singing. I was like, dude, that I was impressed. I did not expect to see like a white guy, singing like that, man. It was not what I thought. But, that's the whole thing. He had all that talent and, you don't know what you're going to get from him. So throw him in the house.
Right.
That's going to be entertaining. Throw me in the house. We're going to make it fun. And, I should have and we should have, but never happened. The guy on Megan Wants a Millionaire, ended up killing his girlfriend and it shut that ruined like 3 shows on VH1. So they shut all that stuff down.
Yeah, I remember hearing New York saying that she had like I Love New York 3 and something else going, but they stopped that too.
I mean, that's why if you watch the shows now, you see, okay, they got the same couple cast members. If somebody does something stupid, we can X them out of the show.
Yeah.
And, or whatever, the Growing Up Hip Hops and all those shows now. Yeah, they got a couple reliable or, somewhat reliable people. Don't have to worry about that stuff. So they don't know the people they're getting. And when you have 30 cast members, 25, you're going to have 1 or 2 bad seeds. And if someone does pornography or gets arrested, like it's a bad light for the whole show. When professional actors are on like NBC, like they're not getting arrested. If they were, people be like, wow, this is bad. VH1, yeah,
right.
bunch of characters, but you still can't be doing stupid stuff. You're on TV, you're being watched, you're a role model, like it or not, good or bad, you got to behave.
It's unfortunate though, because I know those next shows would have probably been just as big as the ones that we had already seen. But now it's ushered in a new era of different kind of reality TV and things like that. So I think things happen the way that they're supposed to. That situation wasn't supposed to happen probably, but they work out the way they're supposed to in our lives as far as that kind of stuff has happened. So I mean,
yeah, I met my wife right before we filmed Daisy of Love. So I mean, I'm sorry, right after. So I was literally like seeing if I was going to date Daisy for a month prior. And 2 weeks later, met my wife. So now she has to watch me dating this girl for. Man, they play it, and it's like 10-week shows. So for the gotta watch that. Of course, I'm gonna watch the show. Obviously, I'm mid to the finals. Here I am. In the finals. So, and she's watching with me. So,
right.
you know, it's like you said, it's like it's supposed to be, but and I was going to get a dating show, so she would have, you know, she knew that when we met, so that was another thing. Like she was prepared for it. Like, oh, you might have to go out and have 20 girls to date, and you're pregnant with, you know, my baby. Like that would have been an interesting show. We would have made it work,
Yeah.
great, but
Oh man. So when you see all those different shows now, like I Love New York and I Love Money and Daisy of Love, like what do you think about now when you watch it?
you know, like it took a while to like start watching it because they used to play it every year and it was on all
Yeah.
the time. So I watched it a little bit, but I think with me recently watching it, you know, I think it wasn't until maybe 4 or 5 years ago when they played a marathon. And I am in a working setting. I'm in New York working, you know, we're all professional. We know each other as some of the top guys at what we do. And we're in a, you know, a building of 100 employees, big company. And, you know, I walk in on Sunday after Valentine's weekend to a standing ovation from the other employees who I didn't say a word. We didn't even say what it was about. They just probably all watched that and were dying. And I work with celebrities. You know, we do high-end memorabilia sales. So, I mean, we were tweeting at LeBron earlier. You know, I mean, we're still doing some big things, and you know, we're still in the media. I mean, I write a lot of our press releases for TMZ, and you know, so what we do is pretty cool. I mean, you put up on Instagram the other day. I have no shirt, holding the money, or whatever. You know, some
Right, right.
don't think about, you know, but then you're like, wait a minute, how many of my clients are on there? Yeah, but at this point, my clients, you know, whether they like it or not, that's what it is. And my boss, you know, he even commented on it, joking around, like, hope you're not shirtless in the office. You know, like, I mean, we're working on a project at work too. So, you know, I mean, hoping that that can get picked up. I mean, our owner is on more TV than I am right now with these.
Right, right.
We just sold
Yeah.
LeBron James rookie card for $1.85 million. It's been on every
Oh
media.
wow.
We were on
So that's what you've
ESPN,
been
CNBC.
that's what you've been into since you've stopped doing those shows?
Man, that's what I've been into since I was 7 years old, buying baseball and basketball cards and football cards. I mean, who isn't, right? So
Okay.
older, I was like, let me make this, you know, what I want to do. This is memorabilia. It's signed Jordan pieces. We just ran an auction of 300 signed Michael Jordan items. You could have asked me, Dave, you got this photo, that photo, these sneakers. We sold a pair of his sneakers for 369,000. I mean, so now we're dealing with the professional leagues of the
Okay.
own a pair of those same shoes. I mean, you know, so I used to do it's collectibles, man. It's cool stuff. Everybody,
Right, right.
but what's really cool about it is you don't look at it and think of, wow, this is like a multi-billion-dollar industry. You think of it like this is what I want to do and this is fun. So I don't care if I'll make 40 grand
Right.
or I'll do what I want to do, right? And then you start
Right.
looking at the numbers and you're like, whoa, you know, we're doing 70 million a year in sales and there's 12, 13 employees in my company and I'm the auction director. So, you know, it's 1, 2. And, you know, I mean, when you think about the revenue that goes around, man, this is people are pulling their money out of the stock market and there's investing millions of dollars into baseball cards. You know, some guy,
Yeah, they are.
imagine if I was a real estate agent and I'm selling $2 million house. That's, you know, you'd think, oh, I'm balling, whatever. Man, we're making 20, 30, 40% on $1 million sales and we're doing 11, $12 million a month in sales, you know? So, I mean,
All
we're
right.
doing all right, man, you know? So,
Yeah, yeah.
but I want to be, you know, I want to be putting that back on the screen, showing my interactions with Barry Bonds and Willie Randolph and professional athletes. You know, we work with a lot of the 76ers guys. We're out in Philly.
Right.
So, you know, we want to, I was with Dr. J at least twice in the last couple months. We work for we're partners with the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. I've been there 3 times already this year on their court, dribbling the ball around, just having fun. You know,
Nice.
it's a dream job, you know?
Yeah, I mean, at least you get to do what you like to do, and you're still making money at it. And then, like you said, that would be, interesting to see on screen, just because now you have all kind of shows about different stuff. So
Yeah.
that would be something interesting to see, really.
Well, if you go on my YouTube channel, Dave 12-Pack Amerman, I posted a video that I filmed with Johnny Damon, who was a player for the Yankees and the Red Sox, and he came to my previous job, and we filmed the day. I was helping him sell some stuff. I was like, hey, come up, co-host the show with me. He came up, just hosted the whole day. I'm not kidding. Johnny was up there at 8 a.m. We were pounding beers till 6 p.m. off at night the whole day. You know, I mean, it was a great day. And if you go on the YouTube channel, you'll see me and him. So that style is like what we're doing for the new show, although there's different elements. I mean, think of it as like a $1 million listing meets like a Pawn Stars meets like go in the house and you're looking, American Pickers,
Yeah.
meets when you're in $1 million houses. What's that show? On MTV Cribs. Like it's
Uh-huh.
elements to it. So we're just trying to find the right direction. Are we going for MSNBC, like real, hey, we sell $1 million memorabilia? Or are we going for like VH1, MTV, where it's like, hey guys, I sell memorabilia, but look, I'm gonna take my shirt off and jump in the pool after I close. We're trying to figure out what the angle is.
Yeah. I think that'd be cool though, because you got, like I said, now you got all kind of different stuff. It's not about just dating. You got like the love and listing. You got like the all kind of shows, the hair shows, the different stuff. So to see a show like that will be something different, and it'll be interesting to watch.
We're gonna bring professional athletes who you know about, who everybody idolized as a kid, right? Who are some of your favorite athletes?
Probably. Don't make me lie. No, I'm just kidding. You said Michael Jordan already, of course. Who else? I don't know. I can't think right now. But
well, that's all right. But throw it right there for Jordan. Yeah. With 100+ Jordan pieces, we have another Jordan auction with 150 pieces about to go. It's not just about the memorabilia. The show would be about bringing the athlete. Now, Jordan's a different animal. Try to get in Jordan's living. Yeah, right. But let's just say you're a Barry Bonds fan or whatever, right? And Bonds is one of the best baseball players of all time, if that's your sport.
Yeah.
But I go to Barry's house, I watch him hit some BP, we have some fun, right? And then we go and we look at his batting crowns or his game-used items or his home run baseballs or his jerseys or his milestone record. Like, how cool is that? You're going to see what's in Barry's closet, So, and then you're going to see, if we do get a few pieces, how much is it worth and how much does he have stashed away? I was Hamilton, Detroit Piston basketball player. We actually filmed with him. And I mean, he had 24 karat gold Jordan sneakers in his closet, and he had a whole basketball court in his house. And yeah, I mean, it's just cool stuff,
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Too much.
Yeah, I've never been like, a memorabilia person. Like, don't get me wrong, I probably would be interested, but I'm not somebody who goes out and collects that kind of stuff. But to hear you talk about this, it sounds interesting. So this is something I will watch.
Okay, but hey, I got New York's panties at my house. I got also that's memorabilia, man. I've already had offers on that stuff, man.
There you go. Look, people on eBay, they would love to buy it.
I was collecting all through my filming videos. Trust me, man.
Oh man. Well, you know what, Dave? I thank you so much. It's been a great time, and just thank you so much for having this conversation with me. But before you go, just let everybody know where they can find you on your social media handles and everything.
Absolutely. Right now, Instagram's where it's at. You guys can find me at Dave12PACK. Hit me up, say what's up, add me, and YouTube. I was putting a little YouTube channel together as well, so just Google or YouTube Dave 12-pack Amerman and hit me up, say what's up.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, of course, this is Mr. Dave Amerman, better known as 12-pack. Thank you again. You have a good one, man. All right?
All right, Tony. Good talking to you, man.
All right. Bye-bye.